I bet, and we live. What's good with y'all, mid? Peace be to the guys on Earth on YouTube. Peace be to the guys on Earth on TikTok live watching me right now. You feel me? It's your boy, the God, Jay Benz the Light. You know what I'm saying? Jay Benz the Light. Back in with another one, man. So in this video right here, this live, I'm gonna be going over the seven laws of the universe that are taken from a great text that you call your Kybalion. You know what I'm saying? And not only going over the seven laws of the universe, but giving you a practical application on how to apply these laws to your life. You feel me? From my perspective, at least, give y'all some of my wisdom. Maybe mention some stuff that I learned from some other books and stuff, or whatever, man. And yeah, we're gonna have a good ass live. So I don't want to take too much time to start, like I be doing sometimes. So we just gonna get straight into it. Gonna straight just start. So all right, boom. So let me give y'all some background first. So what we must understand is this: that in the ancient times, when I say ancient, I'm talking about before there was any Bible, before there was any Holy Quran, before there was any Vedic texts, before there was any of these spiritual texts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Before all of these different things maybe were in creation, or before they were so mainstream. You know what I mean? In the ancient times, there existed many different schools of thought that taught the ancient mysteries of reality itself, of existence itself, metaphysics, esoteric sciences, occult sciences, astrology, all that different type of stuff. And these different schools were called mystery schools or the mystery system. The mystery system was this system of schools that people called initiates, or the chosen, I guess you could say, people who had that type of mind to be able to grasp a spiritual things, be able to grasp higher things of reality. They would attend these certain schools in order to learn many of the different mystical disciplines. You know what I'm saying? Many of the different mystical disciplines, esoteric sciences, occult sciences, like I just mentioned, and all that different type of stuff. People like your Yeshua ben Pandera, also known as Jesus, were documented to have attended the mystery schools in ancient Kemet, which is today known as Egypt. You know what I mean? And people like Plato or Aristotle, I believe, were also documented to have attended these mystery schools as well. And yeah, so long story short, as to why I'm explaining this is to get you to understand that the ancients had a vast knowledge and understanding of what you would deem to be spiritual things, things which go beyond and transcend just the mundane lives that we may live on earth, like motherfucking paying bills and taxes and shit. And you know what I mean? You see a girl in the street that you like, oh, she bad, I'm trying to smash type shit. Or trying to figure out what you gonna eat today, taking your kids to the fucking playground or something, or you know what I mean, or whatever. Like these spiritual things which transcend just all this mundane shit that we feel that we think matters so much. Like we think this shit is so important. We think uh all the different things, these little mundane little things that we do is so important. It's like, you know what I'm saying? The the ancient mystery system was all about understanding yourself in terms of understanding existence, understanding all these things and how you correlate with it. You know what I mean? So there was this text that we have today that is called the Kybalion. This text that is the Kybalion, it consists of talking about the Hermetic principles or the seven laws of the universe, which were things spoken about in these ancient times as well within the mystery system. You know what I'm saying? And I guess this is the part of the live where we're gonna finally really start and really get into it. You know what I mean? And like I said before, this live is about going over these seven hermetic principles as well as giving you education on how to apply these to your life because you must understand something that you may intake and get spiritual knowledge from books, from a spiritual guru, from a guru, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But you must understand that your understanding of this knowledge depends upon where your mind is at, depends upon where your consciousness is at. You know what I mean? So you may hear a guru, you may hear me, you may read something from the Bible or the Quran or the Rig Veda, the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, you know what I'm saying? Or any other Vedic text or any other spiritual text, and you may get a lot of wisdom and a lot of meaning and from it. But understand that that is only you're only there's many different understandings to be taken from it. That's why it's good to do things like, say, if you read a book, to come back and read it again a month later or a year later, because you find that when you do these things, when you come back to the book after you've read it a month later or a year later, then you'll find that you'll pick up on more things from that text that you maybe didn't pick up on before. But it's just like, damn, like I read this whole book. How is it that I didn't catch this before? I mean, it all depends upon the mind, where your consciousness is at, where your mind is at, and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna finally start and we're gonna stop. I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to lay down just a foundation and a background first. You know what I mean? So let's get into it, man. So first, the seven laws of the universe or the seven hermetic principles in order from one to seven. Number one, the principle of mentalism. Number two, the principle of correspondence. Three, vibration. Four, polarity. Five, rhythm. Six, cause and effect. And seven, gender. You feel me? All right, so now let's get into it, man. So I'm gonna read directly from the text, and then I'm gonna offer y'all my own background commentary and all my different thoughts that I have based upon the reading as well as what I've already had in my mind prior to even starting this live and shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. So number one, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind and the universe is mental. Reading from, like I said before, Yo Kybalion. Now, I mean, so number one, the all is mind and the universe is mental. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying all outward manifestations and appearances, which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world, the universe, is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and in its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, are non understandable and defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well being and advancement. The Hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner, With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how and all the and why and how all these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ago, he who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery. And these words are as true today as the time where they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. You feel me? So let's get into it, man. Now, mentalism. It sounds like a lot that I just read to y'all. Let us understand this when it comes to mentalism, or the first principle being that the all is mind, universe is mental, whatever. The reason There's a reason as to why mentalism is the first law and the first one out of the seven. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact that out of all the different laws, all the different principles, mentalism would be the one that is the most important and the most prominent out of all of them, for the simple fact that all the other ones, they descend from the foundation, which is mentalism or mind. You know what I'm saying? Just like how in the passage it said that all of us are essentially just in the all. We're just here in the all. When I say the all, it just means, you could look at it as God or Allah, Jah, whatever you want to call it, but there's no name that you could put to it. There's no way to really describe. It's like you're trying to describe or put a description to the thing which makes it so that you even have the ability to describe things. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So we're just gonna say the all, for lack of a better term. I guess the all would be the best one, maybe, depending upon your perspective. But when it comes to this law of mentalism, this is the most important one out of all of them, like I just said. For the simple fact that, understand, and this is something we're gonna get into later on, as above, so below. As in, it's understanding that just like how in the all, in all of all things, being not only on earth, but in the universe, the cosmos itself, damn, all the other life that exists in the cosmos, all the other life that exists in the universe, all of it exists based upon really one thing, and that is just mind. You know what I'm saying? Everything is the consciousness itself, or the awareness itself, simply having its being, having its existence. You know what I'm saying? And through the consciousness or the awareness having its existence, it then creates universes. That consciousness, that awareness, it creates universes, it creates worlds, planets, stars, as well as these vessels that we use in order to perceive all of it and, live our lives and shit. So, so what do I mean when I say as above, so below, right? It's like this. All of us, we come equipped with a mind. You know what I'm saying? All of us have a mind. That's what it is. Now, when I say all of us, I mean not just so called human beings, but I mean also the bugs, you know what I'm saying? The insects, the cats, the dogs, the lions, and the tigers, and all that. All of it is some form of mind. Everything has some form of a mind that it expresses its being from. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to us, a practical application of the law of mentalism when it comes to us human beings is like this. It's understanding that the roots of all things, the foundation of all things is the mind itself. You know what I'm saying? The root of all good, the root of all evil, the root of all of the greatest things as well as the most evil things that you could think of in the world. The root of everything. It all comes down to the mind. You know what I'm saying? It all comes down to your mind, the way that you think, or your lack of thinking, whatever is going on in your head. That's what is shown on the outside. Whatever is going on inside of you mentally is what's shown on the outside of you. When you look at me on a video, whether you're watching me on the TikTok thing or you're watching me the live replay on YouTube, when you look at me, 9 times out of 10, I assume that 95% of y'all don't know me in real life and shit. So, like, when you look at me, you not personally knowing me, even though that's true that you don't personally know me, just by looking at me and seeing how I express myself, the way I talk, the certain words that I choose to use, the frequency in which I speak, you know what I'm saying, how I have my hair, my face, everything about me, you can tell different things about myself, you know what I'm saying, that even I may not be fully aware that I'm expressing, but you can tell all these different things about you could tell different things about me just based upon just looking at me. You know what I'm saying? But why though? It's cause the fuck was that? It's because everything that we are, it shows up outside of us. You know what I'm saying? When you look at just a random stranger walking in the street, you may not know them personally at all, but you can tell many different things about them, their state of being, how they're living their lives, and all that different type of stuff just by observing how they walk. You know what I'm saying? How they walk, how they talk, observing and looking at them in the eyes, looking and seeing the look that they have in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's a big one right there because your eyes, they say the eyes the window to the soul and shit, right? Your eyes the eyes of a person reveal to you your state of being, their state of being and different things about them. You know what I mean? So how to have a practical application. What's a practical application of this principle being mentalism that you could use in your everyday life? You know what I mean? To help you out and shit. A, pra- a practical way to use this law is understanding, like I just said, the foundation and the root of all things comes down to the mind. So when it comes to whatever desires that you have in your life, it is understanding that your desires are already fulfilled. Shout out like Neville Goddard. This is something that he would speak about a lot. He would speak about living in the wish fulfilled, as in understanding that the moment that you set your mind on something is basically the moment that you decide that you're going to achieve this and the moment you decide that you're going to do something and you decide you're going to achieve this, you have essentially already done it. You know what I'm saying? If you can see it happening and playing out in your mind, then understand that you can see it happening and it playing out in your everyday life already. So it's like this. Some people may say, oh, like it's easier said than done or whatever when it comes to like your thinking and stuff. When it's just like this, you got to understand that who you are as a person, you know what I mean, is essentially just a culmination of the different experiences that you've had in your life, as well as your in different. You feel me? I think my thing froze for a second, but as well as your perception of the different things that occurred in your life. So, so my brother said, "What if you are being subtly tortured?" Well, it's same thing, just like that, man. It's understanding that no matter what occurs to you in your life, whether it be you doing it to yourself or other people doing something to you, the way that you see it, your perception of it, your consciousness itself, it has everything. Is That's where all the power lies. You know what I'm saying? So simply a shift in your thinking is the remedy to basically everything and all things in life. Is a shift in your thinking and understanding that you always know the right answer. There's a part of you that is the knower, the God part of you. You could call it the Allah, the Jah in you. You know what I'm saying? That God in you, your God self. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear me say it a lot, like I'm God, we God. Or you hear many spiritualists on YouTube and stuff. They be like, oh yeah, we God, I'm God, and all that different type of stuff. But what exactly does that mean? It's understanding that, yo, actual core of your being is the spirit or God or whatever you want to call it. That is the knower of all things, the knower that knows what's going to happen before it even happening. You know what I'm saying? And all that. You have the ability to tap in with that knower. You know what I'm saying? You can tap in with that knower. You know what I mean? And different things you could do to tap in with that knower is one of the most important things is meditation. Meditation, sitting down or laying down or whatever, but preferably sitting down and simply closing your eyes and telling yourself you are the observer of your thoughts and simply sitting and observing your mind and just being in the seat of the awareness, just being aware in and of itself, aware with no necessarily judgments or aware with just, you know what I'm saying? Because understand that the purest state of your being is just awareness in and of itself. That's the everything descends from the awareness itself that is with us each and every single second of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Always been with us and always will be with us. You know what I mean? So there's meditation, but also understanding that, like I said before, that your mind and the way that you think is everything. And like Neville Goddard said, there's living in the wish fulfilled. As in, the moment that you say that you desire something, understand that that is the moment that at the same time you have already accomplished that thing. You know the beginning when you know the end when you know the beginning. You feel what I'm saying? That's the meaning of that statement. You know the end when you know the beginning. The moment that, say, a person who's never worked out in their life, the moment that that person decides I'm gonna be a bodybuilder and get into the greatest shape of my life, and they create a mental picture of that, and they create a plan behind it and all that different type of, is the that moment right there is when they've accomplished it. And you what you do on the outside, being like going to the gym and hitting your push-ups and your pull-ups and eating right and different type of stuff, is simply just you playing out the process in the physical dimension of what has already occurred in the spirit. Do you feel what I'm saying? So what I mean before when I said like the knower and stuff, and tapping in with the knower and understanding that you always know. It's like you could ask yourself, or you may be asking like, yo, how is it that I always know? There's no, I don't always know. I don't know everything. It's just like this. Even if you don't know, say if I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, you can still give me the right answer to the question, even though you don't know the right answer to the question. What do I mean by that? Yo, bro, how do I get to this spot over here? Oh, damn. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to get there, but you could probably go on Google Maps or go on Maps or some shit or Google it or something like that in order to get you to over there. Or, damn, I'm trying to start this business. I have no idea what the fuck to do. I have no idea what to do. So the right answer is okay, I need to find out exactly what it is that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. You get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying. And shit. So long story short, to end off mentalism is understanding that you are God. We are God. And this is it. We are existence itself having this experience. We chose to create this entire construct that we call reality itself, physical reality, the world, earth, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We all came together and created this as one. So, with that being said, of us being here, understand that with that being said, within your mind is where you are able to create anything that you want to do. You're hardwired in your mindset, in your mind, to be able to manifest or live out any and all desires that you have within yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what this reality is for. It's for you to experience on a physical level the different things that go on within your mental, within your mentality, within your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Your different imaginations, desires, all that different shit. That's what this reality is for the playing out of those different things and for you to experience it on a practical, earth, physical level and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So another thing that just came to my mind, and I want to end off with this when it comes to mentalism, is understanding that there's there's conscious awareness and then there's subconscious awareness. Conscious awareness is like I'm aware right now that I'm making a video. Subconscious awareness is like a subconscious awareness is like uh I'm aware right now of how I feel right now within myself. I may feel certain types of ways within myself. I may be tired or hungry or motherfucking a nigga may be horny, may want to fucking I may or a nigga may be let's say if I was horny right now, right? Let's say I was just on some horny shit, like a nigga just geeked up for no reason, right? I'm aware of what's going on within myself. That's something that's going on within myself. So then what's that gonna lead up to? That could lead up to me calling up Shorty, being like, "Yo, what's good? What you doing?" Pulling up on her, and you know what I'm saying, getting their cheeks and shit. Right now, that's a subconscious awareness of what I mean by subconsciously aware is to be aware of the different things which occur, which inevitably lead up to certain events playing out. Like if I was about to go smash a girl or some shit after this video, right? Then I'm aware that there's different subconscious things occurring, like me being horny or some shit, or her fucking hitting me up and sending me news. I don't know, whatever that's occurring that are just like, okay, these different events are a chain. These different events are a chain of different events occurring that inevitably led up to me getting in the cheeks. You know what I'm saying? So, so Jaman, we're gonna get to the next one though. I feel like I might be paying for some cosmic debt. What do you think about that? I mean, amen, probably. But like I said before, your mentality is everything, bro. Your thinking, how you think is everything. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day and at the start of it is how you think. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to the next one. All right, so number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words: as above, so below, as below, so above. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox and hidden secret of nature. There are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would otherwise be unknowable to us. This principle is of universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is a universal law. The ancient Hermetists considered this principle as one of the most important mental instruments by which man was able to pry aside the obstacles which hid from the view the unknown. Its use even tore aside the veil of Isis to the extent that a glimpse of the face of the goddess might be caught. Just as knowledge of the principles of geometry enables man to measure distant suns and their movements while seated in his observatory, so a knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. Studying the monad, he understands the archangel. So, I'm going to explain a practical application of the law of correspondence using an experience from my own life. Now, a few years ago, I had a spiritual awakening that essentially set me on my path, the spiritual path or whatever. Now, what I mean by let me elaborate on what I mean by spiritual awakening. It was a time when I was 21, turning 22. I had dropped out of college, and I was at a point in my life where it's like I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't exactly know how to do it. And it was kind of like a period where I was like in limbo. I was between like, I don't know, type of thing. So I remember at the time I was working at this gym, and my friend had, at the time, he had sent me this video from this YouTuber that many of us in the spiritual community, the conscious community, whatever, know. He sent me this video from a YouTuber named Spiritual Soul, right? And prior to this, I never heard of this guy, never seen any of his videos. And I know he had a YouTube before that, Illuminati or whatever. I never had watched any of his videos, his content. So like, he had sent me one of his videos because like, I would speak to my friends a lot about the school system and how it was all some bullshit and and a whole bunch of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like how it was all fucking scam and a whole bunch of different things like that. And he sent me a video uh where Spiritual Soul in the video was talking about that exact thing. Like he was essentially saying everything that I was thinking already. He was saying it in the video. And like it caught me because like I never like I would talk about it to my friends, but besides talking about it to my friends, there was nobody in my life who shared the same thoughts as me really, or like there was nobody else who spoke in that way. I was doing it, but there was nobody else. Like it felt like I was the only one. So then watching that video, it was like, oh shit, like he's saying everything I'm thinking. Like this nigga is saying literally everything that I think and stuff. He's saying all of it right now, right here. So from there, I started watching more of his videos, and then it led up to me watching this one video which changed my life a lot, like a lot, like completely transformed my life. There's one video that he made. I think it was called "How to Meditate." It changed my life, or something like that. It was how to meditate. And prior to that, like I probably heard about meditation, but like I just thought meditation was just like some corny shit or something. Like I didn't know nothing about it before this, right? This is back when I was like 21, turning 2. I'm now, so this is 3 ago, almost years ago. So he made this video called "How to Meditate." It changed my life. And from watching this, I watched that video, and like the thing about it was it's not necessarily about what he was saying. It was more so about the person behind the video, of the person behind the words. because like he wasn't like some corny spiritual teacher guy, like whatever, in a fucking robe or some shit with a bald head. He was a like he was a nigga, like he was a god, just like he would be a guy, like he was a god that like he's the type of guy I look at him like, yo, this would probably like if I knew him in real life, this would be one of my bros. You feel me? Like, so it was like that. So like he made that video how to meditate. It changed my life. And I watched that video, and then from there I just started meditating every day consistently. Cause I was working in the gym at the time. So I was working out consistently every day, like bodybuilder type shit. Just getting strong as fuck. I started meditating every day consistently, just all of that, right? And at first, nothing really happened, right? It just meditation just at first just made me I guess it just made me more like calm or self-aware, shit like that, or just like more just smart in certain things. But then eventually one day came where everything clicked. One day came where I was meditating. I remember I was meditating in my car. I remember this day. Like it just happened 5 minutes ago. I remember I was meditating in my car. And like I said before, this story is ties in with the law of correspondence and how to apply the law of correspondence to your life as above, so below, right? I remember I was meditating in my car this one day, and I remember while I was meditating, everything just clicked. I had my eyes closed and I was just chilling, just in meditation, in a trance state in the car. And I remember everything just kind of clicked in the moment where it's like an unexplainable feeling where I just understood. Like it was this feeling of just, it's like I unlocked just understanding of all things in just one moment. As in, I remember having the realization and the thoughts like, yo, everything is really just the same thing. Like everything is the exact same. Like all of it is really just one thing, except just expressing itself in different ways. Like just like how we have two arms. Like you wouldn't say your left arm is the same as the right arm, but they are the same. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're the same thing, but they're not the same thing at the same time. So I kind of had that realization about life itself in that moment. Like, yo, everything is the exact same thing. Like not only just me and other people, but just everything in general is like the exact same thing. And I remember just it's like I unlocked this feeling or this understanding of just like, like what the fuck? Like this, they all like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is all like we here, like this is nigga, this life, like this is I don't know. I don't know how to necessarily explain it. So then and this time and this is it right here of how of the correspondence example, how to apply it to your life. In this moment, I remember being in my car and just looking at random people that would walk. I remember I was in a gym parking lot at this time. I think I was like on break or some shit, or I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I was in a gym parking lot. But I was at work at the time. Like I said, I worked at the gym, and I was in the gym parking lot in my car. And after I had this realization, I remember just looking at random people just walking, right? I remember just looking at niggas, just looking at just random ass people. And I just got this feeling. I just got this feeling of understanding, like, yo, like all these different people walking around me, like I know these niggas, like, yo, I know everybody, like I know, like I just got this natural knowing of just everything, of people, of everything. I unlocked it in that moment. Like I would look at like this random lady walking, and I would just think in my mind, I thought in my mind, yo, she's me. Like she is that's me right there. But it's me except just what her own different set of experiences, circumstances, and situations, as well as cognitions, conclusions about different experiences and different things that's occurred to her in her life. Uh, you know, different lifestyle that's based upon really her thinking and shit. This all this, like, you know what I'm saying? I remember looking at this lady, looking at other people, and just thinking that, like, yo, we all the exact fucking same. This is like we all the exact same. The thing is that the only thing that differentiates us is really just perspective. Like I'm at I'm here in this perspective that you look at and say, this is Jay Benz the light. This is fucking me, nigga. What's good? Like this is me type shit, right? But then you look at yourself who's watching this video right now. Look at yourself that's watching this video right now. And you're you, like you're your own perspective. I'm my perspective, you're your perspective, but me and you are one and the same. It's just that I'm you from this perspective and you're me from your perspective. You feel what I'm saying? And because we exist at these perspectives, based upon different perspective, then there's different perceptions, therefore there's different conclusions being made, there's different experiences occurring. You know what I'm saying? Different experiences occurring that lead to different conclusions, lead to different perceptions, lead to different, you know what I'm saying, all of that shit. You feel me? So long story short, to apply the law of correspondence to your life is just like what I just explained. Part of it would be to understand that the oneness of all things and that everything truly is one thing, except expressing itself in an infinite amount of different ways. You feel what I'm saying? I am you, and you are me. You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody doing something that you deem to be unrighteous or like, oh nah, them niggas is wilding, like they bugging out, it's understanding that you're only saying that because why? Because you recognize that that is something that you would not like for yourself to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Or something that you would hate for yourself to be living like or being a part of, or like, you know what I'm saying? Different shit like that, or just your own perception of it just being projected outward onto this person. You feel me? Same thing goes with things that you love about people, the things that you love in other people and that you enjoy and adore and admire about other people. These are the qualities of yourself that you admire. You know what I'm saying? That you admire and you love and you like would want more expression of. You know what I'm saying, whether you how much you express them or not is irrelevant essentially. It's it's more so just like understanding, like, you know yourself, like, you know, like within yourself, like what you about, but you may not fully, you may not express certain things to its fullest potential within yourself, from within yourself outwardly. Or my phone just died. But even though that may be true, you still recognize these things within you. So it's like that. It's like you look at other people, the things you love about other people, the things you really love about yourself, within yourself, or that you would ought to be and stuff, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just like the things that you dislike. Like I know I watch an anime, one of my favorite anime of all time, my favorite show of all time, my favorite motherfucking just show creation series, anime, whatever the fuck you want to call it, of all time is this anime called One Piece. That's my shit, bro. That's my shit right there. This anime called One Piece. And the reason that I like it so much, it ain't got nothing to really do with the fights, really at all. It's more so about how spiritual it is. Like it's the different like qualities that certain characters express and possess. Like there's just one character who's my favorite character in the show. His name is Zoro, Roronoa Zoro. His character and how he expresses himself, his intrinsic qualities. He's a samurai, but he's like a righteous samurai. But like when I say righteous, I mean like he righteous, but at the same time he's still himself though. Like you know what I mean. But like the qualities that he has, like there's this one scene in One Piece where he had tried to like uh they were fighting somebody, and then they beat the nigga, and then another nigga pulled up and tried to fight them, and like they had just finished fighting the other nigga, so like they was tired as hell, they was beat up. So when the second guy pulled up, it was like, oh nah, it's clip, it's over, it's wraps, right? So the second guy pulled up and he damn near just knocked everybody out, and Zoro was the only one left, like still conscious. So Zoro recognized, oh yo, I can't beat this nigga. Oh, it's clip. I can't beat this nigga. He recognized that. And the guy that came, he was trying to take his captain's life. Oh yeah, mind you, One Piece is about like pirates and shit. But anyways, like he was trying to take Zoro's captain, his name Luffy. He was trying to take his life. So then Zoro was like, nah, nigga, I may not be able to beat you. I can't beat you in a fight. So you could really do what you want, but the least I can do is to give you a different life instead of his. Nigga Zoro said, yo, take my life instead. Like, don't kill my captain. Take my life instead. You know what I'm saying? Like qualities like that. I peeped that. I said, yo, I remember the first time I seen that scene, nigga, I started crying. Word is born, nigga. I started crying, bro. I said, nah, this nigga real. Like, I said, nah, this shit is real. Like, this is some real shit right here. Like, this is fucking fire, bro. Swear to God, bro. Like first time I ever seen that scene, that shit had me tearing up OD. Cause I said, yo, that's just so like, but why though? Like, why did it create such a strong emotion within myself? It's because those is qualities that like I got within me. Like that's me for real. Like on a deep spiritual level, that's who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I seen how I really feel on the deepest level, like just playing out itself on the screen. And that shit had a nigga crying. Word is born, nigga. That shit had me crying. Cause that shit was so beautiful, nigga. That shit was beautiful as fuck, nigga. That shit had me crying, bro. I was like, yo, this is fucking fire. But anyways, yeah, man. So long story short, to end it all off, so we can get into the next what you gonna call it, the next principle being vibration, is understand that this entire life existence is really one thing, essentially one thing. And everything that you find within existence, within life, is it's those different expressions of that one thing. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at another person, you're looking at yourself. When you react, observe your reactions to other people and different things that people do, and understand that however you react is simply a reflection of who you really are intrinsically inside. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And not only that, but also take note, take inventory or whatever of the different people in your life that you really admire. Maybe they're not in your life. Maybe they're, or rather, let me rephrase. Like, take note, inventory of the different people, yeah, like in your life that you've encountered, you've experienced, whether it is firsthand experience or like I'm just talking about experience in general. Experience could be on the radio, on the YouTube, on the social media, whatever it may be. Like Malcolm X, or like none of us have ever probably none of us have ever probably met Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey, but You may be a person that was heavily inspired and you heavily admire these people, regardless of never meeting them, based upon your experience of them, which is like what I don't know, their speeches, their teachings, whatever, right? So take inventory of the different people that you admire in your life, the different people that you've came across in your experience that you admire, that you know, you feel you feel like, yeah, like this is a real nigga right here. This is a real there's something about this person I respect, I admire them so much, this whatever. And understand that part of the reason as to why you admire and respect this person or the qualities that they express is because you're admiring and you're loving the expression of those same qualities that you have within yourself at the deepest parts of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That you find are being played out in the form of this other person. Like it is Malcolm X. Shit, nigga, I know Malcolm X was one of my biggest inspirations. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X, David Goggins, people like them, like some of my biggest inspirations in life. And but why though? It's because they express certain qualities, certain things about themselves that I know that I have at the deepest parts of my being and that I seek to express to the fullest of my own potential and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So seeing them do it is like, yo, that's fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, facts, facts. But hi, man. Let's get into the next one. The principle of vibration. Number three, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. Facts which modern science endorses and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. And yet, this Hermetic principle was enunciated thousands of years ago by the masters of ancient Egypt. This principle explains that the differences between different manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit result largely from varying rates of vibration. From the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grossest form of matter, all is in vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, there are gross forms of matter whose vibrations are so low as to seem at rest. Between these poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration, from corpuscle and electron, atom, and molecule to worlds and universes. Everything is in vibratory motion. This is also true on the planes of energy and force, which are but varying degrees of vibration, and also on the mental planes, whose states depend upon vibrations, and even on to the spiritual planes. An understanding of this principle with the appropriate formulas enables Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others, which is key. I'm about to get into that, but let's finish it. The masters also apply this principle to the conquering of natural phenomena in various ways. Quote, he who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power, unquote, says one of the old writers. Uh, so, a key thing that was taken from this passage was when it just said, an understanding of this principle with the appropriate formulas enables Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others. That is, that got to be one of the, if not the, but one of the most, that's one of the most powerful. I think that that line right there kind of sums up the entire thing right there. Or maybe when it comes to application, is that, like it just said, an understanding of this principle with the appropriate formulas enables Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others. So, hold up, I'm about to share my screen. I just got an idea. Look. I just got an idea. Show y'all some shit real quick. All right, all right, here we go. So is this it? Ah, yeah, this is it right here. Doing glitchy. I bet we here. All right. Am I sharing my screen right? I word. So, so here, right here, as we can see, this is the vibrational chart, like the vibrational scale of consciousness, whatever. This is the vibrational chart. So this chart right here shows you essentially just like the different. It shows you just like the different levels of yourself that you tap into based upon the emotion. You know what I'm saying? The vibration of the emotion. You know what I mean? Like, so if you a person that you feeling a lot of guilt, shame, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride and shit, these are lower vibrational emotions. As in, these are things which they take you out of higher levels of awareness of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like they take you out of like that understanding of like oneness in the moment, maybe, like if you know what I'm trying to say. So versus like the higher vibrational emotions being enlightenment at the top, peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance, willingness, you know what I'm saying, courage, neutrality, shit like that. These are like the more high vibrational emotions, you know what I'm saying? Due to the fact that when you find a person, like you just know, when you find a person experiencing these higher emotions versus these lower ones, what type of person are they? Like it's like this. The people who express these higher vibrational emotions a lot more, these are the people who attract a lot more people, places, and things which resonate and harmonize with them more easily. You know what I'm saying? Versus people who are feeling and expressing these more so lower emotions, these lower vibrational emotions and stuff. These are the people who tend to repel things. These are the people who repel people. You know what I'm saying? Repel people, places, and things. Repel people, repel money, repel friends, repel relationships. You know what I'm saying? When you just living the life out of these emotions, these lower vibrational type emotions right here. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but you can see a person's state of being just by looking at them and observing them and their face and their eyes and the way that they talk, the way that they walk and stuff like that. You can kind of see the frequency that they vibrate in at. You can see the amount of energy that they expressing and that they is just embodying. You know what I'm saying? So if you can see that, then in turn, you can also see just what are the dominating emotions within them. You feel me? If you see a person who's always so optimistic and happy, and this nigga just happy as hell, like this nigga feeling jolly and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you know that the dominating emotions within that person are these higher vibrational emotions like peace, joy, love, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus you see a nigga that life is so hard. Ah, and all that shit. And you know the dominating emotions in them are these lower vibrational type emotions. You know what I'm saying? So how to apply the law of vibration to your own self. You know what I'm saying? Or how to apply it to reality, how to apply it in your personal life and stuff. It's understanding that energy is very contagious. You know what I'm saying? Energy is super duper contagious. Oh God. Like the energy that a person expresses, embodies, and puts out from themselves, like you absorb that. Like, you know, that there's that saying, what is it? It's like, uh, you the average of the five people that you're around the most. Low key, because why? Like it's because they energy and who they are as a person, that their dominating emotions that they feel, aka their dominant state of vibration, their dominant frequency, that rubs off on you just by you being around them. You know what I'm saying? Like why you think like there's some people in the world you just hate being around these niggas, bro. Like it's just annoying. Like you have them people in the world who, and there's two ends to it. Like you have them people in the world who like these people come around and it's like a dark cloud over their head, and it's like a dark cloud, like a fucking like dark cloud just came in, and just the whole mood of the room and the whole energy, like your energy just gets sucked away just by being around these niggas, just by being around these motherfuckers and shit. It's cause they a lot of their dominating emotions that they feeling within themselves are these lower vibrational emotions and stuff, based upon whatever reason that it may be. You know what I mean? And you feel that. You absorb you absorb that energy. You absorb all of that into yourself, into your auric field. You know what I mean? You absorb all of that through your auric field. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up an image of that too. If I could find one, if I could find a good one. Word right here. Oh yeah, we lit. Oh yeah, it's active. Oh yeah, it's active. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's active. This is exactly what I wanted too. This is exactly what I wanted. All right. So this image right here, this comes from this comes from a page out of a book called The Subtle Body, an encyclopedia. I'm gonna pull it up. This comes from this book right here called The Subtle Body. Come on, man. This comes right here called Subtle Body, Encyclopedia of Your Energetic Anatomy by Dale, which is a super key book if you're really a person that really want to tap in and get in tune to that shit. You know what I mean? But it comes from this, right? So this illustration right here shows you your auric field and the different layers of your auric field. You know what I'm saying? So literally, quite literally, like gotta understand that there's your physical body, but there really is no physical body. All it is just energy, vibration. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Shout out Nikola Tesla. You know what I mean? Like all of it is just energy. There really is no physical. It's just energy type shit, right? And just energy having a relationship or a reaction in response to its own self, attracting or repelling, whatever. So we have a energetic field, you know what I mean? And you absorb your environment, you absorb that into your field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you know, like when you walk into a room, you can just feel the energy of the room. You can just you just know what the fuck going on. Like you just get the energy, the Chinese niggas, they call it the feng shui. Like you just feel it. And like it may influence you or affect you or you know what I'm saying? Or say you in a room and you like you got your back turned or something, and like you turn your head to the side and you see this person staring at you. It's like, how the fuck you know these niggas was staring at you? Like it's like you didn't even know. It's like something in you just knew and just like say, yo, turn your head that way, and just say, yo, turn your body that way. Like something inside of you just knew. And but like what is that? It's you picked up on it through your aura. Like their aura was interacting with yours in a certain way. Like whatever thoughts and whatever that was happening in their mind, like like they're they was in a way of interacting with your aura by looking at you. Stare like I know shit. Like say like you a guy and you see this girl, she bad as oh no. No it other way around. Let's say you a guy, right? And there's this girl, she bad as fuck. And you know this how guys, this how we know like when shorties like us and shit. That's how we know when women like us or whatever. It's based upon the subtle things that they be doing for the most part. Because most women on average, they not really very direct when it comes to how they how they their attraction. Like they're very subtle with it. Like you could be in the gym and like there's this girl like over here, she keeps staring at you with a certain type of look, and you peeping it, you keep peeping it over and over and over again, and like you just know, you know what I'm saying? Or just the certain, like the very first, maybe not even over many times, but just the very first time you peeped it, and it was like, oh shit, like you just kind of picked up on it, like, oh yeah, like she feeling your boy type shit, right? Like, like, like I don't understand. Like, it's many of these things. These occur due to the different influences that happen upon our auric field and stuff. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? So going back to this vibration and stuff, understand that you have an auric field, and just like how other people can influence and impact your auric field, you influence and impact other people's auric field. Now, how does this happen? This happens through your energy. This happens through how you express yourself. You know what I'm saying? What you're thinking. You know what I mean? Your thoughts are things. What you think is what you the things that you think are just as real as the physical things that you have in your life. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're thinking is just as real as that. This is exact same thing. So when you uh observe other when it comes to vibration, it's understanding that you through your energy are able to influence and impact other people as well as obviously yourself. You know what I mean? You can will your way into having a higher vibrational uh state of being, a higher frequency state of being. You know what I mean? And all it has to do is with is just your thought, how you think. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Because like think about, why would a person feel shame or guilt or grief or fear, and or be angry and shit and all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would a person feel this way? Or why would a person be feeling feelings of just enlightenment, peace, love, joy, and all that? All it comes down to is the way that you think. Like you, it's like this. You things Different things occur in our lives based upon what we do, as well as what other people do, and our reaction and response to what happens to what we do and what other people do, and a bunch of other different shit. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So just the reason why like these certain emotions dominate within ourselves is because we justify them in ourselves. Like we create these things essentially ourselves. Like let's say your mom just died, or say your yeah, let's say like your mom just died. Let's say one of your parents died, or somebody, one of your closest friends just died. Now you may be feeling grief over that. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what most people feel when like their loved ones die. They feel a lot of grief and shit. But why really is that? It's because of the way that you're reacting and responding to it. It's because of your relationship with what is going on with death or whatever, right? Because if you simply just, this is just all from a perspective or perception that you have from your thinking. Like, because if you just shifted your perspective or your thinking, you know what I mean? instead of, oh my God, they just died. Oh no, I'm whatever and all that shit, to like, wow, like they lived, that was their life. Like they just completed their life cycle. That was that was it for them. And now they moving on to the great unknown, and they going on to the next experience. They ultimately fulfilled their destiny, which that's all of our destiny. All of our destiny, or part of our destiny, all of us, is inevitably all of us will die. Every single person, 100% success rate, nigga. Everybody gonna die. I'ma die. You gonna die. Your friends gonna die. Your mama gonna die. Everybody gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Everybody you've ever known, you've ever experienced in your life, they either dead or they gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural part of life, and it's all of our destiny. You feel what I'm saying? So a shift in your perception, your thinking, your perspective, that's all it takes. Because a person could die, and instead of feeling grief, you could feel just tremendous feelings of love or peace, for example, from that. Because just based on your perspective, like, oh shoot, like they ultimately met their destiny, and now they're moving on to whatever comes next, and they live their life. And some people, like, you may say like, oh, a person died, they didn't get to do this and that, and they didn't get to live their full life, they didn't get to whatever. No, nigga, they lived their full life. That was inevitably that's when the clock ran out for them, and it was meant to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't, then them niggas would still be alive. You feel me? So that being said, to practically apply the law of vibration to your own personal life is to understand that your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your dominating emotions, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, all of that shit, that essentially is your being. And other people pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? Other people pick up on your state of being through, and you can't really hide it. You can try your best to hide some shit, but you really can't, because it's energy. People gonna pick up on it regardless. I mean, obviously in your conscious mind, you can trick a person in their conscious mind into whatever, but energy is energy. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, transmute that energy into a certain higher vibrational, higher frequency form of energy for that uh whatever intentions that you have based upon the moment or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? And understand attraction and repulsion. These higher vibrational emotions, these are the things which attract the greatest things to you. And on the opposite end, these lower vibrational emotions, these are the things which attract the worst things to you. You know what I'm saying? These higher vibrational emotions, these are the things which attract the most things in general. This is attraction type stuff. Versus the lower are the things that you are repelling. You know what I'm saying? You see a beautiful ass woman, she's sexy as fuck, she bad. You attracted to her. You're attracted to her. She creates positive emotions, positive feelings within you. You attracted to her because she's sexy as fuck. She bad. Oh my god. You see a ugly ass woman. She fat and shit. Oh, creating fucking motherfucking earthquakes every time she walks. She just got horrible energy. She built like goddamn. She built like the fucking Hulk, nigga. She built like Fiona from Shrek, nigga. She built like Hulk Hogan. She hit that bitch beat. You looking at her like, oh nah, you want to get away. You don't even want to be around her. She beat, nigga. She want like she repelling you because she's so hit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean, but yeah, man, let's continue. We're gonna go on to the next one. I lost my page. Hold up, let me get my page back. Give me a second. Give me a second. Uh, okay, so principle number four. Principle number four. The principle of polarity or the law of polarity. Quote, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that everything is dual. Everything has two poles. Everything has its pair of opposites, all of which were old Hermetic axioms. It explains the old paradoxes that have perplexed so many, um, which have been stated as follows: thesis and antithesis are identical in nature, but different in degree. Opposites are the same, differing only in degree. The pairs of opposites may be reconciled, extremes meet. Everything is and isn't at the same time. All truths are but half truths. Every truth is half false. There are two sides to everything, etc. It explains that in everything there are two poles or opposite aspects, and that opposites are really only the two extremes of the same thing, with many varying degrees between them. To illustrate, heat and cold, although opposites, are really the same thing. The differences consist merely of degrees of the same thing. Look at your thermometer and see if you can discover where heat terminates and cold begins. There is no such thing as absolute heat or absolute cold. The two terms heat and cold simply indicate varying degrees of the same thing, and that same thing, which manifests as heat and cold, is merely a form, variety, and rate of vibration. So, heat and cold are simply the two poles of that which we call heat, and the phenomena attendant thereupon are manifestations of the principle of polarity. The same principle manifests in the case of light and darkness, which are the same thing. The difference consists in the varying degrees between the two poles of the phenomena. Where does darkness leave off and light begin? What is the difference between large and small, between hard and soft, between black and white, between sharp and dull, between noise and quiet, between high and low, between positive and negative? The principle of polarity explains these paradoxes, and no other principle can supersede it. The same principle operates on the mental plane. Let us take a radical and extreme example, that of love and hate. Two mental states apparently totally different, and yet there are degrees of hate and degrees of love. And the middle point in which we use the terms like or dislike, which shade into each other so gradually that sometimes we are at a loss to know whether we like or dislike or neither, and all are simply degrees of the same thing. As you will see if you will but think a moment. And more than this, and considered of more importance by the Hermetists, it is possible to change the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love in one's own mind and in the minds of others. Many of you who read these lines have had personal experiences of the involuntary rapid transition from love to hate, and the reverse in your own case and that of others. And you will therefore realize the possibility of this being accomplished by the use of the will, by means of the Hermetic formulas. Good and evil are but the poles of the same thing, and the Hermetist understands the art of transmuting evil into good by means of an application of the principle of polarity. In short, the art of polarization becomes a phase of mental alchemy known and practiced by the ancient and modern Hermetic masters. An understanding of the principle will enable one to change his own polarity as well as that of others if he will devote the time and study necessary to master the art. That shit deep. That shit deep, nigga. But all right. So, how to apply the law of polarity to your life on a practical level. Or just for understand. My bad. I think my thing froze. But anyways, um, just as stated before, it is understanding that, for example, cold and hot are one and the same. When you look at a coin, you see heads and tails, and you say heads is different from tails, tails different from heads, but it's still a coin. It's essentially one and the same. So, with that understanding, this understanding how to apply this to your personal life is to understand that whoever that you are, whatever you're experiencing in life, let's say, let's bring attention to maybe things that you rather not experience, like certain sufferings or certain, like, let's say you're having some issues with money and shit, or you having some issues when it comes to your relationships, or maybe you experiencing depression, or maybe you experiencing whatever. Let's say you experiencing some things in your life which are not very pleasant or harmonious for you. Simply, the law of polarity, through understanding the law of polarity, it is understanding that whatever it is that you are experiencing, the opposite end of that thing that you experience is one and the same with its opposite degree. You feel what I'm saying? Meaning that just like how a person may experience depression, that same person could experience the greatest joy out of life and pleasure out of life and things of that nature. Or a person experiencing great pain, just like a person can experience great pain, you can also experience great pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself at a point in life where you're experiencing great, just unharmonious events in your life, like a lot of mental, emotional type of issues going on with you, then it's simply understanding that a shift in your thinking will lead you to the conclusion and the path, or rather the path to the opposite end of whatever that you're feeling. You know what I mean? And also understanding like this that you find within all of your life circumstances the good and the bad. In the most evil, most terrible thing that's ever happened in life, in yourself or whatever, there's good things to be taken from it. Just like how the same thing applies to the opposite. And the most beautiful things that we have in life or whatever, there's certain bad things that could come out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, say like it's a woman, right? And it's a woman that you've been wanting for a minute. You've been trying to get at her, like, yo, what's good with you, whatever, right? And say you finally bag her, you finally get her, and you like, damn, like, oh, this is lit. I finally got shorty. She bad as fuck, like whatever. And not only that, but she cool as fuck too, whatever, all the different type shit, right? You'll find that when you actually get into a relationship with this woman, or when you actually get into the relationship with no matter who it is, like it could be the person you think this is the most just greatest person on a planet, and you get them and you relationship with them, you find when you get into the relationship, you start to realize all the different uh the pros and the cons that they got. You know what I'm saying? You because I think like in your pursuit of them or whatever, you was mainly focused upon the good things. You wasn't really thinking about the bad shit. You know what I'm saying? When you get into a relationship with them, that's when all the demons they start to come, and you start to see what type of demons that they got, that they fucking with, that they got within them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and every good thing is a bad thing, and every bad thing is a good thing. So it's understanding that to apply the law of polarity is to take out, and these are teachings that we've heard all the time. Like we've heard these teachings so many times in so many different ways. But but it's understanding through understanding the law of polarity that you must extract the greatest thing. Oh, son, perfect example is this. There's a passage in the book called in the New Testament called the parable of the sower in the book of Matthew. No, 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 not the parable of the sower. The parable of the weeds in the book of Matthew. And essentially, oh damn, should I read it? I don't got a Bible with me. Damn, nigga, I don't got a Bible. My Bible upstairs and shit. I'm gonna go get it. All right, be right back, niggas. Yo, I just realized while I was getting it, nigga, I could just Google this shit. I'm bugging. I'm not thinking right now. Share screen. All right, here we go. All right, right here. So this ties in exactly what I'm saying with the law of polarity and taking the good from the bad and the bad from the good and shit like that. So the parable of the weeds, Matthew chapter 13, verse 24 to 43, whatever. Uh, so the parable of the weeds. Jesus told them another parable. Am I sharing? Word. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat. And when the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him, who sowed good seed in your field. Where did the weeds come from? An enemy. The servants asked, "You want us to go and up?" No, he answered, because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat within them or with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, then gather the wheat and bring it to my barn. Great wisdom can be taken from that. So essentially what it's saying is to understand that there may be bad within the good or whatever, right? Or rather within like say like a bad thing, good things can be taken from it. And this also applies to people. It's like this is say say it's like a teacher, say it's Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, for example, or Malcolm X, or I don't know, whoever it may be, Martin Luther King, whoever. Let's say Martin Luther King, because most people know him. When it comes to Martin Luther King, MLK, now most people highlight and they focus upon the great things about that man, which of course is, yeah, but there's also some not so great things about that man as well. Like I know that was information was put out that he was working with the government or he was government funded or the Rockefellers or some shit like that. I don't know. Some long story short, he was funded by the white people to move essentially. You know what I'm saying? Now, knowing that, you may have a certain perception of the man from that, but that doesn't take away from the fact that that man had right and did and up and stood up like a man and did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the other things attached to it. So you could say the government shit and being funded by the white people and all that different shit, you can look at that as the weeds versus the other things that he did, the righteous shit. That's the good fruit. That's the wheat. That's the good shit right there. So that right there, in and of itself, will be a great way to apply the law of polarity in life. is by understanding that and then doing it yourself and seeing how that plays out for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue, man. All right, so principle number five, or law number five, the principle of vibration. I mean, the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out, things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. This principle embodies the truth that in everything there is manifested a measured motion, to and fro, a flow and inflow, a swing backward and forward, a pendulum like movement, a tide like ebb and flow, a high tide and a low tide. Between the two poles which exist in accordance with the principle of polarity described a moment ago, there was always an action and a reaction, an advance and a retreat, a rising and a sinking. This is in the affairs of the universe, suns, worlds, men, animals, mind, energy, and matter. This law is manifest in the creation and destruction of worlds, rise and fall of nations, in the life of all things, and finally in the mental states of man. And with this latter, that the Hermetists find this principle important. The Hermetists have grasped this principle, finding its universal application, and have also discovered certain meaningful effects in themselves by the use of the appropriate formulas and methods. They apply the mental law of neutralization. Key. They cannot annul the message. They cannot annul the principle or cause it to cease its operation, but they have learned how to escape its effects upon themselves to a certain degree depending upon the mastery of the principle. They have learned how to use it instead of being used by it. In this and similar methods consists the art of the hermetist. The master of hermetics polarizes himself at the point at which he desires to rest, and then neutralizes the rhythmic swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole. All individuals who have attained any degree of self mastery do this to a certain degree, more or less unconsciously, but the master does this consciously and by the use of his will, and attains a degree of poise and mental firmness almost impossible of belief on the part of the masses who are swung backwards and forward like a pendulum. This principle and that of polarity have been closely studied by the Hermetists, and the methods of counteracting, neutralizing, and using them form an important part of the Hermetic mental alchemy. Now, peace, God. Hey, yo, what's good with it? JJ, my guys, good with it, man. How you living, my brother? But all right, let's get into it, man. So, how to apply the law of rhythm? How to apply the law of rhythm to your own life? So, I'm gonna use this example because it's the first thing that came to my mind while reading is semen retention. Oh my God, semen retention, semen retention. Now, or celibacy, or what the Hindus would call brahmacharya. Now, this doesn't just apply to guys, obviously. You know, celibacy, we just men and women, whatever. But I want to use the example of semen retention because obviously I'm a man and shit, and I have a lot of experience with semen retention, celibacy, and the different effects that it had upon my mind, my mental. And I'm currently working up on another celibacy streak, semen retention right now. You feel me? I haven't released in like it's only been like 3-4 days since I released, but I don't plan on releasing for a good while, man. But anyways, so I want to use the example of semen retention. Now, for who I bet by know for the sake of the video, again, semen retention is just like the name says. It's the retaining or the retention of your seed as a man, Now, some people you may be saying, like, what you mean retaining your seed, retaining your sperm, not having sex? Well, you could have sex. You could have without keeping your seed. The best way to keep your seed is to not have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have sex and try to keep your seed, but if you a person that hasn't practiced that, hasn't practiced having sex and not trying to bust and shit, or you a person who doesn't have a lot of knowledge in like tantric sex and things like that, then that's gonna be Hall of Fame two. That's like on 2K. All my niggas that play 2K. That's Hall of Fame difficulty right there. Especially if shorty bad. Especially if shorty bad. That's Hall of Fame difficulty. They ain't, bruh. You telling me you gonna be smashing? You got some cheeks, and you're not gonna nah, nigga. That shit there. That shit Hall of Fame difficulty. That shit hard as hell. So the best thing to do is to avoid sex, or not to avoid sex, but just not have sex in general. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this. It's like this. Why do I mention semen retention? Semen retention is something that turned men into gods. Semen retention turns a man into a god. Semen retention turns you from a man to the man. That's what semen retention does. Celibacy as a man. Because it's like this. It's understanding that as a man, of course, we create seed every single day. And I'm gonna make another separate video talking about semen retention more in depth. I don't really want to go too much in on it right now, but whatever. We make seed every day, obviously, right? But when you go a long time without letting out any of your seed, what happens is that all that seed that your body makes, it ends up reabsorbing that seed and reabsorbing that seed back into your blood, into your bloodstream, and that seed travels up your spine and turns into a different substance once it hits your brain that activates just higher levels of your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Mystical like intuitive abilities, psychic abilities, depending upon the amount of time that you have been retaining. You know what I'm saying? So I mentioned this in terms of rhythm, the law of rhythm, because when they mentioned the law of neutralization, aka polarizing yourself at a certain degree, and at a like there's a pendulum, right? Rocks back and forth, right? The master polarizes himself at a certain level on that pendulum and stays right there wherever he chooses, so that and doesn't he doesn't allow the pendulum to decide where he goes. He doesn't allow the flow of the cycle to decide where he goes. He says, this is where I'm at. He decides, this is where I'm staying, this is where I'm at, right? Attention for this fact that naturally, as a man, your biological prerogative as a man is to have sex and to have a lot of it, have a lot of sex. We're built to have sex with as many women as we possibly can. That's how we're built. We're naturally, as a man, you are by nature polygamous. By nature, we are polygamous. By nature, we're polygamous. By nature, we're built to be fucking and have a lot and do a whole lot of fucking. You know what I'm saying? By nature, that's the nature, the primal instinct of us. You know what I'm saying? Now, nature has set this up, and the cycles go like this. Oh my God, when you start feeling away, you see Shorty, she bad. You like, oh, I'm trying to kill, I'm trying to smash, I'm trying to get in the guts. You get her number. and then say you smash, you set up you set up the operation, right? You hit your boy, oh, what's the word? What you doing? Or she hit you up, yo, what you doing? And you end up y'all link up, y'all smash, right? Oh my gosh, y'all notice the moment you let out your seed, boom, post nut clarity hit. Yo, do you like this girl? Like, is this really like, oh shit, oh shit, I'm just here just because this is just a nut. Like I wasn't even, this ain't even really what I really wanted to do. I was just being carried along basically by just being horny, my energy, my just thinking with my dick. You feel me? So that is the natural for all of us guys is get this feeling and then find a avenue to express for this feeling to be expressed. You know what I'm saying? Which 9 times out of 10, well, if you black, 9 times out of 10 will be shorty with a fat ass, shorty thick, shorty bad, whatever. This the master ending this. My thing keep freezing. My thing stay freezing. But so it's like this. The master understanding this decides, yo, if I'm gonna smash, if I'm gonna let out seed, I'm gonna do it on my terms, and I'm gonna do it based upon, is this a good idea to do? Like, what are the drawbacks? What are the pros and cons of me doing this? You know what I'm saying? Of me doing this and stuff, type of thing. The master is going to polarize himself at a certain level among that cycle. Now, like the energy is going to say, yo, let's do this. But the master, being a master of his mind, is going to say, nah, son, I'm not just going to give in to my primal desires. I'm going to do what I choose to do instead. You feel what I'm saying? So, with that being said, and the person like the guy on semen retention, stuff like that, that have other people looking at him like, damn, bro, you don't like pussy? Damn, bro, you don't like fucking? Like, what's good with you? But it's just like, nah, bro. Or, and you know what? The thing about it is that celibate person, those become the spiritual gurus and shit like that. But why? Why you think that the vast majority of the spiritual gurus, the Hindu masters and stuff, they all speak about celibacy being a key part of the spiritual journey or your spiritual path. It's for the simple fact that the conservation of your sexual energy in turn transforms into spiritual energy and expands your consciousness, elevates and expands and increases the strength of your intuitive abilities, psychic abilities and stuff. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna make a separate video talking about retention way in depth. My bad, y'all. My thing keep freezing. But I say that to say this ultimately in conclusion, when it comes to the law of rhythm, that it's not only just things like semen retention, but also wait, hold on. My man's right here. Right, he be making them 432 hertz music and shit. Yo, nah, you clutch. Wait, right? Nah, you clutch, bro. Oh God, you clutch as hell. But anyways, it's understanding that it's not only just about like semen retention. It's understanding that certain things occur in life that change our emotional state and all of that. Like you could be feeling on top of the world, and then some shit happen, and next thing you know, you feeling just down in the dumps. The master of his mind, the master of the law of rhythm, and all of that understands that I'm the one that decides my own state. I'm the one that decides my own mental state. I'm the one that says, nah, I choose to feel this way. I'm the one that chooses how I feel. I don't allow my environment, circumstances, and things to tell me or change my one. All right, so let's get on to the next one. Son. Number six, the principle of cause and effect, or the law of cause and effect. Now we all know about this one for real. I don't even really think this one need to be read because I think we all understand cause and effect. We all heard that since we was kids about cause and effect. We know that shit. But actually, nah, I just thought about something, so I bet we gonna get into it. Word. Every cause, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. This principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect, an effect for every cause. Wait, hold on, my bad. My man's right here, my brother Jay right here. Nah, you the one that be making the Bobby Hemmett videos and shit. Facts. Nah, OD, you clutch as hell, bro. Clutch as hell. But this principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect and an effect for every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower planes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The Hermetists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effects to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causes instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters rise into the plane above, dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life instead of being played and moved about by other wills and environment. They use the principle instead of being its tools. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there is condensed a wealth of Hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. I'm gonna read that last line one more time. Nah, I just reposted it. Nah, facts, bro. But still, you clutch. But let me read that last line one more time because that's key. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there is condensed a wealth of Hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. Uh, so apply the law of cause and effect to your own life. Multiple things came to my mind. The first thing being to understand that cause and effect lead and follow. There's leaders and then there's followers. You know what I'm saying? There's leaders and there's followers. Now, what are the characteristics of the leader that make him a leader versus the characteristics of a follower which make him a follower? The leader is the person who is most of the time the initiator, the one who has initiative, and depending upon the caliber of leader that he or she is, a like My bad, yeah. I don't know why, but my live keep just freezing and shit. But anyways, so yeah, the leader is the person with a strong sense of initiative, depending upon the caliber of leader. The higher caliber of leader is usually the person with a stronger and stronger so effect when it comes to cause and effect is understanding like this that the master is the person who chooses to be the causer to the different effects. You know what I mean? As in like this, the person who decides that I'm gonna take initiative into doing this and I'm gonna cause these certain things to occur in my life. Decides to be the general, the leader, the captain of his life. You know what I'm saying? By being the causer of the different things which occur. Now, obviously, like it just said in the last line, the masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. What does it mean? What do they mean by the masters obey the causation of the higher planes? It's just like this. It's just like when it comes to us living, breathing specifically, your breath, your breathing is essentially a causation or cause or whatever that comes from the higher planes of existence. We need to breathe in order to continue our existence here within these bodies, within this form. So if you disobey that law, which is breathe, that law that causation, which is breathing, you know what I'm saying, then you end up dying. So you obey this, for example, higher plane, the higher plane, the laws of the higher plane, the causation of the higher planes. But when it comes to things which you rule on your own level, on your own playing field within this reality, being the leader and the captain, the general of your reality, then you become the causer of your own chain of events, of your own whatever. Just like how on the higher planes, there's a causer which cause a chain of events to occur, which is called breathing. You know what I mean? The design of the body is to make it so that there's an in breath and an out breath. Something caused for that to happen, and the effect is the in breath and the out breath. You know what I mean? So on your own plane of existence is being the leader, taking your initiative to being the causer of different things. Not only that, but also like if there's say a child comes across you. Like I remember the other day, like 2 days ago. Was this yesterday? Or was it 2 days ago? I think it was yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? I think it was 2 days ago. But there was his kids. I was coming out the store and there was his kids. It was these three kids, these two little white boys and this one black kid that this one and one of them was black, little black boy. They was like max they was like 13 years old. They was like 12, 13 years old, some little ass kids and shit. And they came up to me. The three kids came up to me talking about, yo, can you sell us some weed? I said, what, I said, yo, what you know about weed? And they was saying shit, and I schooled them and I gave them knowledge, like like you and stuff. You can't be smoking weed. Like your body, your mind, your brain and stuff is not fully developed yet. You haven't even hit puberty yet. You know what I'm saying? You just now hitting puberty and shit. Like you probably got two little hairs on inside of your fucking armpits and shit, nigga. You just now hitting puberty. You know what I mean? It would be unwise for you and very unhealthy and detrimental to you to be putting this chemical substance into your body when your body isn't even fully developed yet to be able to fully metabolize it in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't exactly say it that way. I said it in a more, you know what I'm saying, more cooler way for kids to understand and shit. but but you get the gist of what I'm saying is that in that moment, I understood that me being the adult and these being some little ass kids and shit, that I'm the one that in this moment right here, I'm the one that could. I became the causer of certain thoughts or certain chain of events that could transpire in their lives. You know what I'm saying, by giving them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I became the causer of a certain type of chain of events that may or may not transpire in their lives. Versus, say if I was a different person and they came up and was like, "Yo, can I get some weed?" and the person was like, "Oh yeah, sure," and they sold them some weed, then they would have been the causer to a certain chain of events for them. You know what I'm saying? So, so Jaman, so Jaman, be a leader. All right. So, last principle, last law of the Kybalion. You know what I'm saying? Last law of the laws of the universe that come from the Kybalion. We made it. Number 7, the law of the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. This principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything, the masculine and feminine principles ever at work. This is true not only of the physical plane, but of the mental and even the spiritual planes. On the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes, it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. An understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains the two elements for this great principle within him or her. Female element also contains the male element or male principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must understand and study this hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. We caution you that this principle has no reference to the many base, pernicious, and degrading lustful theories, teachings, and practices which are taught under fanciful titles and which are a prostitution of the great natural principle of gender, aka transsexuals. Such base such revivals of the ancient infamous forms of phallicism tend to ruin mind, body, and soul, and the Hermetic philosophy has ever sounded the warning note against these degraded teachings which tend toward lust, licentiousness, and perversion of nature's principles. If you seek such teachings, you must go somewhere else for them. Hermeticism contains no only signs to the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. Now, to be able to apply the law of gender now to your life is to understand, just like it said, that the masculine, the feminine principle exist in all things. They exist in you, they exist in me. You know what I'm saying? One part of myself, one part of myself is woman, I guess you could say. Like, uh, I manifested myself as a man, right? As in, I have testosterone and shit. I'm a man and shit, right? But I have feminine qualities about myself, just like a person who's a woman has masculine qualities about herself. You know what I mean? Both of those energies exist in us. But you may also observe like nature and look at like a tree and see like the law of gender playing out there too. Like a tree, for example, in the soil and stuff. The tree in the soil, right? You could look at the tree as like the masculine principle in a way. It's, you know what I mean? The seed becomes a tree. And what does the tree do? protects and it provides for the different animals and stuff in nature. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? You could say a tree is like a man in a way. And then the soil itself or nature itself, which nurtures the seed and brings out the potential of the seed, could be likened to the feminine principle or the woman. You know what I mean? So to apply this to own personal life, I would say would be to simply understand where these things exist within yourself, within your own life, as in how to maintain some balance in your life. As in, for example, what I mean by this is like this, though, for real. Is for example, take something like meditation. Meditation would be, if we talk about the law of gender, meditation would be like a feminine act. Feminine, as in, it is a passive act. It's an act where you are retracting within yourself. You know what I'm saying? You attracting your senses to within yourself. You you're passive you go into a passive state of being where you're just simply just being in and of itself. You know what I mean? Versus something like fighting, like some UFC or boxing or whatever it may be, would be like a masculine act. Now it's understanding that both of these things are the balance between the two is necessary for the simple fact that like too much of one in your mind, in your mindset, how you expressing yourself could lead to, if you're too aggressive, got a lot of masculine energy, you super aggressive, then next thing you know, a nigga step on your shoe, have a nigga moment like the Boondocks, and you gonna clap a nigga just because he stepped on your shoe by accident. When it's just like, bruh, like cool out type shit, right? Or or on the other end of that, it's like, yo, if somebody just woke up to you, smacked the shit out of you in your face, or I don't know, or rather, say like somebody woke up to you, say you was your girl, and a nigga woke up to her and just smacked the fire out of her. Some like you with your shorty and somebody and a nigga just smacked the fire out of her. On God, smack the fire out of her. Like she hit the floor and everything. Discombobulated, nigga. Then you as a man, is either one or two things you gonna do. It's either you gonna do nothing at all and just like walk away with shorty, or you gotta fuck this nigga up. Now, if you too passive, if you too just, you know what I'm saying, then you gonna be then you just nigga you gonna be like, oh my bro, why'd you do that? Like, nigga, that's the last thing you should do. I guarantee she breaking up with you after that shit, nigga. If your girl if some nigga smacked the fire out of her, and then you go to the nigga that smacked them, be like, oh my god, why'd you do that? I guarantee she breaking up with you that day, nigga. It's raps for you. It's over, finito, nigga. That pussy staying dry after that shit. I mean, like in moments like that, that's when you gotta, that's when you gotta, that's when you gotta like, I mean, gotta get to it. You gotta get active. But that's just what comes to my mind when it comes to the law of gender and applying it to your life. Besides just the simple understanding in your mind, but that's it. And with that being said, man, that is the 7 laws of the universe and the practical application of them to your own personal lives. Now, if you think I should have said something else or something more, then leave it in the comments. You feel me? Or just whatever like that. Or if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy this video, this live, leave a like, leave a comment, of course. Subscribe to my channel. Grow with that shit. Help me out out people. And 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 yeah, man. I feel like nothing else to say. So say, peace be to the gods on earth. This is the end of the live. I'm Jay Benz the Light, Swami. You know what I mean? Swami is the Indian name for a spiritual teacher. It's a Sanskrit name or word for a spiritual teacher and shit. So, I man, oh yeah, I could be on. I'm more like 50K on TikTok. I'm cool on TikTok. That's where I kind of, I guess, all started. Where it all started for me in terms of the social media thing is on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok, same name, J Benz the Light. You know what I mean? Follow me on the gram, J Benz the Light. Um, and just tune into my future content if you like what I gotta say. My whole page, everything I'm about, my whole platform is all about esoteric science, occult science, metaphysics, as well as fitness. Hold up, as well as fitness and just mastery of self, self mastery, spiritual mastery, mastery of the mind, everything like that, mastery of the body, mind, and soul. You feel me? Helping you to master yourself and helping you to understand and realize your higher and higher potential that you have because you must understand that you are God. You are God. And with you understanding that you are God, then you understand that your potential, your truest potential, your highest potential, there is no highest potential. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like your highest imagination of yourself, there exists even higher things than that. So, with that being said, to focus upon the highest aspect of yourself or your highest ideals would be the wisest thing to do until more information and revelations and whatever comes. And then you'll be able to aim even higher and higher and higher and higher, depending upon your cognition, depending upon your mind and shit. I'm saying? So, all that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. And I'm Jay Benz Light. I'm out of here, man. Peace be to the gods on earth. Thanks for watching.